Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call and new season of Your Divine Uniqueness. And so today is the first call of this new season. So very excited to be here with you live, or with those of you who will be watching or listening to the replay. And also I'm very excited that Marla Torres is back on the show. This is the second time she joins us. And I really love, how to say, her work and gifts because I connected with her before we had the first interview. We connected on a one-on-one session, and really I felt so much authenticity and love coming through, and also the messages that she shared with me were very inspiring and really helped me get more clarity about how to say what I'm offering, because I'm still getting aware of more of what I'm here to share. And yeah, it was really inspiring, and also the space that she held, it felt really safe and very supportive. So very very excited that she's back with us today. And today the call will be about discovering hidden secrets encoded in the frequencies of ancient wisdom. And so she will be sharing about that, and also later during the Q&A, she will answer your questions, and also she can access the akashic records if this is something that can support you through the Q&A, the questions that we will be asking. And so for that, you can raise your hand on Zoom app, or you can type your questions on the chat box, whether on Zoom or on YouTube. And for those of you who are new to Marla, she's inspiring others who are living in survival mode to reclaim their divine power and thrive. And so with that, Marla, welcome to the show. Happy to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Monsef. It's a privilege and an honor to be on here again. And thank you. And hi to everyone jumping on. I see from Denmark and Ireland. Welcome, everyone. So glad you're here and to be able to just share from my heart. And I'm very grateful that Monsef noted authenticity is one of my characteristics, because that's something I strive for, and just want to share from my heart and be able to offer support for the individuals that need it along the way, where my story will resonate with my story resonates with, and just be a support and give a lot of love.
Wonderful. Thank you, Marla. And so in the beginning, I would love if you can tell us maybe a little bit about your work, or also story for those of our audience who are new to you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I've had quite an interesting I have an interesting story to share. I was raised in a very strict religious background, and my voice was essentially squashed. And as a result, I developed thyroid issues. And I got into the medical field. I'm a nurse, and Western medicine is just like, okay, you have this, you deal with it, you take these pills. And so that's what I did for so long. And then at one point, after I had my daughter, she was about a year and a half, and she's 10 now. And so I was still just feeling like I was having postpartum symptoms, and it wasn't making sense to me. And so I went looking for some help, and was essentially told by Western medical practitioners that, okay, just take this pill. You're going to feel like crap for the rest of your life. And that's just part of it, get lab work and be done with it. But that didn't resonate with me. There was something about it that really, like, it was repulsed by. I was like, no, I'm not claiming this. This is not my diagnosis. I refuse to. I'm going to heal from this. And thus began a journey of separation from the Western medicine, in a sense, because I knew there's something more. And I found naturopathic medicine, And one of the doctors gave me guidance of diving into things on an emotional level, healing on an emotional level, that no matter what supplements he prescribed or what tests were ran, it really didn't make a difference until I started to look at the deeper side of things and really, finding out that emotional traumas will manifest as physical symptoms. And that was new for me to hear. And so just based on my medical background, I didn't accept it right away. But eventually I listened and I started doing that inner work. And that's when I started to notice things shifting. Um, so I went from barely being able to get off the couch to care for my toddler to thriving and to being able to go on adventures with her and travel and, do activities and just be an active mom, which really resonated with me. And that's what I love. And I've been able to also come down significantly off of pharmaceuticals for thyroid supplementation. And that was something that Western medicine was like, that's never going to happen. But here we are. And I'm almost off of it. And so I just feel really grateful for all these tools that have supported me on this journey. And that's what we want to go and dive into today is some of the tools that really helped me, um, that really resonated with me. And I know they'll resonate with a lot of people because I've seen the benefits for many, many people who have experienced these modalities. And um, just coming back to who we are at our core, and the ancient knowledge that we possess at a cellular level, and just being able to remember it. um, it's so empowering. It's really so empowering, and I love that um, I can share this so other people can be empowered too and take back their control and their power, because ultimately you are your own healer. Nobody else is going to heal you. Um, so I just want to be, helping other people realize that and see, here's some tools to use. See if they fit. If they don't, that's awesome. If they do, that's even better, but being able to discern that you hold the power, that's something I'm really passionate about because, um, yeah, once you can step into that power and realize and take that back and be like, no, no, I don't have to accept any of this other stuff. Granted, it is hard work, but it's so worth it. Like I wouldn't trade or change any of it. It's been painful, but all along the way, there's such beautiful lessons and such karmic lessons, and um, I'm just grateful. I see them as gifts. They really are just beautiful gifts.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Marla, for sharing that message and also your story. Because it feels very inspiring, especially when because sometimes when we are in situations that can be very challenging, we may think that there is no way out, especially when we hear others thinking the same thing. And like hearing a story like yours really it's help us believe that we are really able to shift our reality and create the outcome that we want. Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. And uh, also, so today is about the like you said, the healing modalities, the healing secrets that are available to us to tap into them. So let's start talking about that. And what are the tools that really helped you through your journey, and also that you are offering to your clients and people that you work with?
Okay. So one of the things that I know it gets thrown around a lot, but there is a lot of power to it, and it's not to be taken lightly, is gratitude. And that was, I would say, the foundation for my healing journey. I was reading a lot of self-help books in the beginning of this journey, and one of the books I read was by Pam Grout, Thank and Grow Rich, and she offers these experiment suggestions for you to try to really just tap into that energy. And one of them stood out to me when that was every day for at least 30 days, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. and don't repeat them. So like don't just like, bed, air, health one day and then do that the same the next day. Like, shift, change it up. And um, that got me thinking a different way and looking at life a different way and being able to see that the things that were happening for me, not to me. They were happening for my growth and my expansion, and there really were gifts. And so I could find gratitude in the things like, an autoimmune disease. I went through bankruptcy. I went through, my first husband died, my second husband and I got divorced. It was an abusive relationship. So going through each one of those things and finding the gratitude in the situation. Some days it felt a little challenging, I'll be honest, but just it's simple. And I think that's why it's often downplayed, is it because it's so simple, but it's so, so powerful. And I started a Facebook Messenger group just for accountability because I know myself, like I don't often hold myself accountable as well as I can hold others accountable. And so I wanted to have that accountability that I was gonna, really do this. And it's still going strong. It's been like 5 years and it's still going strong. Um, Not everyone posts, and that's okay. Like, but I know that I am committed to showing up pretty much every day. I've missed a day here and there, but showing up every day for myself. And then I've gotten feedback from a lot of others in the group too, just saying how inspirational it is for them to come in, even if they don't post, just to see my post and, help them come back to the present and find something to be grateful for also, even if they don't write it down. So that was one of, like I said, the foundation. Um, One of the other foundations was shamanic Reiki. And I was introduced to that from that same naturopathic doctor that had recommended going deep and doing the healing work. Um, the woman that he recommended I work with is a licensed therapist, but she's also a shamanic Reiki master teacher. And she, she did Reiki. Obviously, she did shamanic Reiki on me during the sessions, but and then she had mentioned that she was going to be offering classes, and so I jumped at that opportunity because it was just something that resonated and called to me. And once I sat in circle and felt that energy, I just felt like I was home. Like I know from akashic record readings and stuff that I have been a Native American medicine woman in other lifetimes. And so like there's just something that resonated so strongly with me at a cellular level, being able to connect with nature, because with shamanic Reiki, it brings in the nature element. It's not just focusing on being a conduit for the Reiki, but you bring in, it's especially helpful in hands-on sessions, but you can do it long distance too. Like I always bring, like I have my crystals, one of my crystals, like I always bring an element of nature and I have plants around me and stuff because there's just something so beautiful about connecting with the wisdom of nature. There's like so much wisdom there and so much healing to be found there that when combined with the Reiki, it's just like, so I asked my teacher, I was like, so what's the difference between like you see Reiki or any of the other Reiki um, lineages? And she said, well, shamanic Reiki is Reiki on steroids. And I was like, okay. But it's super, super powerful and it really resonated so strongly for me. And I experienced so much healing, not only for myself, but being able to offer it to others. And there was a time where I was working in the hospital and I would go over on my lunch break to the main hospital building and they had a caregiver center. And I would give free mini sessions for caregivers of patients that are in the hospital. And just hearing their feedback, like, I mean, I just got angel bumps now, just remembering that and feeling into that energy of like how powerful it was. Even for a 20-minute session, they left like feeling changed and feeling so relaxed. And one of them, I thought that she was not happy with the experience. She like ran out after the session. I was like, oh, oops. Um, but I just shared authentically what, channeled what came through. And the next week she was back and I was a little surprised to see her, but she was like, are you psychic? And I'm like, why do you ask? And I'm like, yes, but why do you ask? And she's like, the stuff that came through that you shared with me, she was like, I was like, how did you know that? I'm like, I didn't personally know it. It was channeled, it was from source, and she was just like so in awe of it. So like things like that just make give validation, even though I don't necessarily need validation, but it gives validation to the power of the work. Like I already know it works, but I love seeing it work for other people too. So those were like the two really foundational pieces of my healing journey, of having these really deep, ancestrally deep practices. They're ancient techniques, right? Like it wasn't just in our day and age that we started being grateful. Like that's been going on for a long time, the power of gratitude. And even the shamanic Reiki, like Reiki in general, has been around for a long time. This is something that's super powerful and that the ancient ones knew about and were able to harness and were able to use. And it's now coming back around to really support us as the planet evolves and as we um, evolve our consciousness and expand and grow. Um, it's just really beautiful to see how these tools are coming back into our awareness in this lifetime to be able to utilize them to really support our growth and expansion and our evolution. So those are probably two of the strongest. I mean, it's hard to pick like the strongest ones because I love
Right.
all of the tools that I use. Um, just resonate with them all so strongly. And I know I mentioned briefly the Akashic records. So um, that was another tool that I was introduced to, like on my healing journey. It just fascinated me, and realizing that we can connect with this super library, essentially, out in the ethers that holds so much wisdom for us, holds so much knowledge about all of our lives, past, present, future. Um, and not just us as human beings, but also that plants have akashic records, like all living beings have akashic records. And so like even when you look in crystals, sometimes you can see the record keeper, the lines, the little lines going across, and those are record keepers. And um, that also has proven to be super helpful, just even on a healing basis for me, but also in just channeling for other people, because like you can't make it up. Like it comes from the Akash. And there's sometimes like I find my mental mind going, oh wait, I have to tell them that, But once I get over myself and just let it come out, whatever comes out from that's being channeled from the Akash, the feedback has always been super positive and on point. Like they're like, wow, like how, oh wow. And it's meanwhile, it's nothing, like Montef said he found it helpful. Like I didn't like have knowledge, a bunch of knowledge about him to go in and be like, oh, that's XYZ. Like, he and I had just met, so it was like I let go of wanting to know um the all the exact things about people and just let the information just flow. Because then I can release whatever egoic things that come up and just let go of my ego. Like that's one thing when you go into the Akashic records, you release that. You release your ego before you even enter that space. So you're coming in with just this beautiful um clean slate and just open to receiving the love and the knowledge and the wisdom that is just so abundant there. And sometimes it's fun just to just do a little like Akashic bath, just like sit there and let the energy just bathe your body, emotional body and physical body, and just envision it. It's so invigorating. And sometimes I just don't want to close my records. I just find myself walking around just keeping them open because it just feels so good. But then at some point, I start to feel a little heady, like out in the air, too much in the air element, and I have to just ground myself again and be like, okay, it's time to close. And but just knowing that it's always there for you. Like um there's no time limit. Like you can access them whenever, wherever.
Wonderful. thank you so much about that. And yeah, we will take the questions we got from Karen. We'll take them a little bit when we start the Q&A. And also, I love that what you shared about maybe getting out of the way, because this is something maybe many of us deal with, and we try to maybe rationalize or try to understand from our own point of view what the other needs or not, and what we need to share or not. But many times it can be something very different than what we expect or what we think. So it's more about trusting the message that we channels and the guidance that we receive. Yeah, and also thank you for talking also in the beginning about gratitude, because I believe this is something very important, because especially in those times when we feel low is the vibration that we are shifting into, that we hold, that can help us to maybe shift to a more flowing or high vibrational state of being. And gratitude can really help us to shift that vibration. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned too about the vibration, because gratitude even vibrates at a level higher than unconditional love. So gratitude is up there with joys in the 500s, and it's like super high vibe, you know. So that's a fun way that if I'm having a little start myself, I do what's called a gratitude rampage. So I'll start at my front door, and then I'll just walk through my home, every room, and stop and look slowly at everything that my eyes that I lay eyes on, offer gratitude for it, and thank it, and say thank you to it. And by the time I'm done, like I just feel like on top of the world. It's just such a high vibrational activity. And like I even have my daughter do that. I'll have her do it when she's trying to fall asleep. For her, it helps relax her. For me, it just makes me feel like I'm ready to go, you know. But so it has different effects on people, but it's super, super awesome and super empowering.
Right. Wonderful. And yes, so maybe more about the akashic records. So what will be your advice to our audience who want to access the records, and maybe either start doing it on their own, or maybe if they are already, they know how to access that, maybe to go deeper in that practice?
So I know one thing, you know, at least in the beginning for me, and it's often in the beginning for people when they're first going into their records, is that they second guess the messages that come through and think that they're making it up. You're not making it up. I can assure you, you're not. So a lot of times, people aren't super confident in doing it on their own, and they may need a few sessions just to help gain their confidence and to have that reassurance that what they're hearing and that what they're receiving is completely on point. So I can give an example of how I was taught to enter the Akashic records, and you can do this on your own, absolutely. So to start, you get in a comfortable place. Just take some nice deep breaths just to center yourself, to ground yourself, to be right there where you are. And like if you're driving or something like that and you can't really get too zoned out, you can still do this. But you really like get the full effect, just, you know, to be still, close your eyes. And there we sound the 5 sacred ohms. So the first ohm is, with this ohm, I relax my body. And then you sound the ohm. So that sound current is also healing and also amplifies the energy. So you would say Om and really hold that frequency. Then with the next Om, you say, with this Om, I relax my mind. So first your body and then your mind, you're relaxing. Then you Om again. Then the next one, with this Om, I release my ego, all fears and judgments in this place, and Om again. And then now you want to call in. You've just released so much. Now you want to call in. So with this next Om, I call in the light, love, all wisdom and knowledge in this space. And then you Om again. Then the final Om is going to be, you're going to use your name. So some people will use their full name, including their birth name. if your name has never changed since birth, then that's, you don't have to worry about it. But if you've been married, divorced, whatever, like, and you feel into it, you feel if you want to include all the names or if you just want to include your birth name, but decide on how you want to do it. And then with the final Om, you say, with this Om, I open the Akashic records of, and you would say your name or the name of somebody you're opening the records for. And then you Om again. And then as you enter the space, just be still, sit for a moment, just let the energy, let yourself get acclimated to the energy, because it is significantly higher energy than just, walking around on Earth. And just be with it. And then you can ask your questions. I always acknowledge, I thank them all. I thank you, masters, teachers, loved ones, and guides, all beings here for my highest and greatest good. I thank them. Thank them for being with me in the Akashic record space. Thank them for their support. And then I come forth with either if I feel like I need assistance with something, there's questions I have, or if I want to feel into other lifetimes, you can ask, and then just be still and let whatever comes through be valid. Because it is. And sometimes it's pretty wild. You're just like, whoa, okay, like just hearing, for me, it was really wild when I heard about the reading that I was in a Native American medicine woman in another lifetime. It was just so like wild to me, but it resonates. Like I can feel that. Like I feel that connection. If I go to a Native American powwow, whatever, and I hear the drums and stuff, I just like I cry. Like I feel it so deep within my soul. So just be open to whatever comes through and just practice, 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 because the more you practice, the more you'll gain your confidence. And, I mean, even sometimes myself, I'll feel like, okay, am I overriding this with what my conscious mind wants? So sometimes I will ask another practitioner also, hey, can you just do a reading for me? Just like, so I can go in and receive an unbiased reading, because sometimes just like even with using pendulums and stuff, sometimes you can make it say what you want it to say,
Right.
So
Right.
it's the same kind of thing. So you want to just, sometimes you do need an unbiased reading, but it's super powerful, it's super helpful, and it's super easy. So I love having that as a resource. And that's one thing too, like so many of these practices are easy. Like some of them, yes, it required an energetic exchange for me in the form of money to take some classes and get the certifications and what have you. But not all of them do. So like, gratitude, you don't need any money to be grateful.
Right.
And I just told you how to open your Akashic records. So there's another way, like you don't have to be in significant money energy flow to be able to access these to start your healing journey or to continue your healing journey, or what have you, wherever you are on your journey. They're accessible to you, and you can absolutely tap into them at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Marla,
Yeah.
for sharing that. And also, I want to read Karen's question. It's related to the subject. I thought before it was personal, but she wrote, could you give an example of an Akashic record? Is it like an astrological reading?
So it's not an astrological reading, even though they're both kind of in the ethers, right? It's not, the astrology has more to do with the planets and all of that, whereas the Akashic record is really, it's like this huge library that's available to you. I mean, I just imagine it like, floor to ceiling, just with loads and loads of books, because we have, I believe we have multiple lifetimes. And so, and, then we can go into the, time is not linear and are they all happening at once and all that. You can go deeper into that. But needless to say, the Akashic Records has that all there for you to tap into. And sometimes some questions that you might ask, it's not in your highest and greatest good for you to know that answer. So sometimes you won't get it, an answer, or you'll get an answer in the form of just them not telling you. or it may not be the answer that you want. But just to be open to that, because you're looking at different lifetimes too, and different things that happening on different timelines. And so just being open to what comes through and knowing that ultimately, whatever answers come through, whatever information comes through, is always going to be for your highest and greatest good. They are not going to allow information to come through that's going to cause you harm or be detrimental to you. It's always ultimately for your highest and greatest good.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you, Marla, and thank you, Karen. Um, Also, you talk about the frequency specific microcurrents. So what are these? I'd love if you can tell us
Yes, I'm so
about that.
excited. This is my my latest deep dive into learning more about. Um, so we'll just kind of break it down a little bit. So, you know, our bodies are comprised of, essentially, if you break it down to atoms, right? Like it's like the building blocks. So, all atoms produce, receive, and emit energy, which operates at a specific frequency. So this applies to all of our cells, our organs, tissues, emotions, and thought patterns. So this is like encompasses all of us. Um, they all have their own unique electromagnetic field. So all things have a frequency. So give an example of like the radio station. You turn on the radio station, you turn on the radio, and you flip through the different channels. That's all frequency. That's all coming across on different, you know, waves. We all have different channels too. So we'll have, you know, like say the channel for um, your liver or your GI tract. Um, Emotional stuff too. Like before the show, I was a little nervous. I ran some programs on my device to give me frequencies to help just calm my nerves and help me remember that, you know, all this is coming from source. Like I'm not just spewing out information. This is all channeled. I connected with my akashic records before coming on the show, and I just trusted that what was meant to be shared would come through, and I just trusted source for that. Um, so essentially, ancient wisdom inside of technology is the device I have, and it has been so cool to see how it supports energetic balance at a cellular level with individualized microcurrent frequencies. Then what the microcurrent does is it increases the ATP, which is essentially the energy for the cell, up to 500%. And that can improve cellular well-being. And for me, I was a little like, I heard about this years ago and I was a little skeptical. I'm like, we can heal ourselves, you know, like all the power is within us. We don't need anything outside of ourselves. And something kept drawing me back to it. And then I read a book, The Resonance Effect. Um, I don't remember the doctor's name who wrote it, but it was really eye-opening for me. And it really helped me see, like she gave lots of case examples um, of patients coming to her with incurable issues, like this pain, you know, pain management and all that. And she would apply the frequencies at a certain number, certain frequency, and the pain would be gone, and it would be gone for good. So it was just showing that there is a correlation, like, and when you can tap into that frequency, um, you notice how things change. And for me, it was really fascinating. The other day, I had this horrible headache, and I'm like running the pain programs. I'm like trying all different angles for pain, for pain. And then I tuned in and I heard intuitively to use the one called energy work. And I ran that. I woke up the next morning almost pain free. I went to bed with like a 10 out of 10 headache. Next morning it was like a 2 out of 10. And I was just in awe because it brings me back to that our emotions will manifest as physical symptoms. So it may not be something where you're actually physically injured to have pain. It could be something emotional that, like, I didn't consciously realize that I was having this, but to be able to have frequency directed right at it was blowing my mind. So I'm really excited to be able to use these in sessions. Because again, it bypasses the logical mind because it's going in at a frequency and energy and it's reading the energy in the quantum field. And so I find that like I guess the science side of me is geeking out on it because I think it's so fascinating, you know, and some people I've had, well, actually my mother, she was like, oh, you know, the new age stuff. And I'm like, Mom, it's not new age. Like this is science. Like this is legit. Like just like you can turn on the radio, you hear sounds, like your body has these frequencies, you know, that receives and emits and all that. And um yeah, I just find it super, super fascinating. I love it. Stuff like this really lights me up.
Wonderful. And yeah, it's really fascinating how technology is also included in this field in spirituality and energy healing. And I've seen some devices, and it's really amazing what they're able to help with. So yeah, thank you for talking about that also. And let's see. So we will start taking questions in a little bit. So again, if you are on Zoom, you can either raise your hand or type your question on the chat box. And also, if you are on YouTube, you can type your question there on the chat box. And Marla, so they will receive, like they can ask personal question or for reading, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
akashic records. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so and before that, yeah, I would love if you can maybe tell us about the 60 minutes private session that you are offering to our audience. And I invite everyone to visit the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Marla, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Marla, MARLA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the webcast page or later on the replay page. And also I will add the link on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. So Marla, yeah, I would love if you can tell us about that.
Yeah, so my sessions are really tapping into intuitive guidance as to which of my tools in my toolbox would be for the highest and greatest good for each person in that moment. So generally speaking, I would guide you in opening your Akashic records just to be in that energy so that we have all that support also during each session. It can throw in some Reiki too, like just feeling into what you need in that moment. Also using the frequency device to really tap into on a deeper level. Because there's so much knowledge in the quantum field too, and just being able to tap into that and to see where you can be best supported in that moment. And then I also do Kundalini yoga. So, you know, if I'm feeling not me feeling, but if I'm being intuitively guided that one of the kriyas may be beneficial for you to practice, then I would be happy to share that and show you how to do it. And if I have a video of it up on my YouTube, give you the link for that, support you in that way. And just really diving in to what God, source, universe, the Kash is sharing that is most needed for you in that moment.
I was muted. So yeah, thank you so much, Marla. Very grateful to you for being available to our audience. And also everyone, I highly recommend that you work one-on-one with Marla. And like I said in the beginning of the call, I loved working with her, having the session with her, and really the messages that she channeled were really, really helpful for me. And yeah, feel honored to share her work with you here. So again, the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Marla, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Marla, MARLA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the webcast page, or later on the replay page. So we have Ellen. She wrote, where can I be best supported in this moment?
All right, so let me tune in. I just got full body angel bumps. I don't call them goosebumps, they're angel bumps. And I hear them saying how loved you are, that you are so loved and just you're worthy. I just feel like this immense love, like it's making me tear up. Like it's so, so immense, the love that they are just vibrating for you. And mm, feels so good. And they want to encourage you to be still, be here now, connect with your breath. It's another tool that we often forget about, take for granted because it just happens automatically. But when we can connect with our breath in a slow and deliberate way and just really feel into that moment of silence, and feel into the breath with gratitude. They're saying, don't forget the gratitude to bring that gratitude in for the breath, for how it's supporting your body in that moment. And that they're saying that it might seem like a simple simple thing they're inviting you to do, just being still and being present, but it's super powerful. And they're inviting me to share with you this breathing technique that I learned from the Presence Process, Michael Singer. I think it was Michael Singer, sorry, but I'm not kidding the author right now. You breathe in and out nice and slow. And so you're going to start with, I am here now in this. So breathe in, I, breathe out, am, breathe in, here, breathe out now, breathe in, breathe out this. And you're saying it silently, you're not actually vocalizing it, but just as you focus on the words and focus on your breath, it does support you in coming to stillness and being um, in that really that sacred space where you can feel the oneness with the universe, the oneness with all. I hope that resonated.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Marla, and thank you, Ellen, for your question. We'd love to hear your feedback. And Karen, she wrote, being Chinese and a long line of ancestors through my mom, I wonder how they contribute to our lives at present. Thank you for this.
Yes, thank you, Karen, for this question. I'm just tuning in. Your ancestors are very much a part of you, but they don't dictate your life. You alone you have the power of choice. You alone can make any change needed that you desire. You alone have the power to break any ancestral bonds or traumas, heal any ancestral traumas. But at the same time, they're saying it's not only challenges that come through from our ancestors, but it's also a lot of strength and a lot of wisdom that they offer for us. And you are the answer to your ancestors' prayers. That you are here now in this moment, in this time in humanity. You hold the keys within you to make any changes that you need or desire, to embrace their wisdom and their love, because they do have so much love for you. They're not just, pictures or names in a book. They, like we came through earlier, you have so much of their energy in your cells. And again, they're saying gratitude. Thank them. Thank them for what you may view as strengths or what you may view as struggle. Thank them. Because it is an opportunity for growth and expansion for you in this lifetime. Much love. Hopefully that
Beautiful.
resonates with you also, Karen.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marla, and thank you, Karen, for your question. And so again, everyone, if you want to ask your question or receive a reading, you can raise your hand on Zoom app, or if you are on the phone, you can click on *9, or you can type your questions on the chat boxes on YouTube and Zoom. And Ellen, she wrote, beautiful Marla, breath is what has come to me in the last few months. So conscious of it. Thank you for affirming this for me.
My pleasure.
Beautiful. And yeah, I have a question because you talked. Let's start with Tammy, and then I will ask my own question. So Tammy wrote, how can I best be supported for the highest good of my soul's path right now? Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Tammy. Just feeling into your energy, the energy of Akash. I'm feeling more than I'm hearing their message of like excitement. There's just so much excitement. They excitement and maybe a little bit of anticipation even of what you are about to do or what you are currently doing, the work that you're doing for yourself and for others. They're so very proud of you. They're just like, I just feel like there's a beaming energy of like, um, hmm, almost like a parent beaming on their child, even though that's not quite the energy, but that's the best words that are coming through right now. It just, um, yeah, it just feels so good how excited they are for you. Like it makes me so excited for you. Like they, I would love to know what you're doing because this is so awesome. Um, yeah, just so much excitement, and they're just so proud of you and keep up the good work. You are pointed in the right direction. You are doing the work that is for your highest and greatest good. Hmm. Thank you for letting me feel into that energy, sharing that energy with you. I felt really awesome. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Marla, and thank you, Tammy. We'd love to hear your feedback. And Joshua, wondering what messages my Akash has for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. Let me just feel into your energy and your Akash. Again, I'm feeling more than I'm hearing words. I'm feeling um, calm and grounded, a sense of being held and protected. The visualization they're giving me is literally of an ancient grandmother tree with like a almost like a seat for you to sit in and to just rest into and to feel that energy and support. They're encouraging you to visualize that. visualize the groundedness of grandmother tree, of Mama Gaia that's coming, her energy coming up through the roots of grandmother tree, and the energy, the healing energy of nature surrounding you and grandmother tree. I'm saying come back to this visualization as often as you need, just to remind yourself, A, that you are safe and protected always, that you are loved, and to be able to ground yourself into the healing energy of Mama Gaia and just allow that energy to permeate all of your cells. Just visualize it bathing your physical body, and visualizing it coming up through the soles of your feet into your body and just circulating with your circulatory system, with your heart, with your heartbeat, with your blood traveling through your body to every cell, every physical cell being bathed by this amazing, powerful, calming, grounding, beautiful energy from Mama Gaia. And then see it extending out also from your physical body into your aura, and just really protecting you with that energy also. Yeah, it feels really nice and calm and safe. Almost not quite cocoon, because not enclosed or suffocating, but it's just nurturing, very beautiful nurturing energy that they're sending to you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me feel into that for you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Marla. And thank you, Joshua, for your question. We'd love to hear your feedback as well. And Tammy, share also feedback. I will read it also for everyone. Thank you so much, Marla. Wow, I felt such positive energy through your words. So encouraging and validating. I am anxiously awaiting the birth of my grandson any day now, and have done a ton of work healing my relationship with my daughter and clearing ancestral mother-daughter wounds. And I'm now starting to bask in the rewards of my decades of hard work. You just validated all the rewards that are coming. Thank you so much for your beautiful words and energy. Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah.
And a question from Rose. Hello, Marla. Thank you for everything that you are, I think. I would like to know what happens if one doesn't know what their work is in regards to high purpose, and if one is in the path.
All right, Rose. Thank you for that question. Let me just tune in to your energy in the Akash. They were like coming through before I even was fully tuned into your energy. They're very gentle with this reminder. It's not harsh or reprimanding, but they're very gentle with reminding you that you know the answer is definitely within you. And it's safe to trust yourself for what you know. So, what immediately comes to mind when you feel into your question about your high purpose and if you're on the path? Um, could you just clarify if you mean on the path as far as your work, your purpose with your work, if that's what you mean? Um, but I'm feeling and hearing them just with gentle and loving energy saying that you know what you've been hearing, what you've been feeling is correct. And that, yeah, sometimes it's a little scary, especially if it requires a change from what you're doing already. And they acknowledge that. But in addition to you having the answers within you, you also have the strength. Again, it's bringing tears to my eyes, just how much loving energy is coming through with these words from them, that you are your own hero. You do know. Let's see if you responded to.
Sure, yes.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah. That's what I was feeling coming through, but I just wanted to clarify from the standpoint. But yeah, it's very, very loving and tender. That they're reminding you that you know and you have the power within you. And they're saying don't be afraid to ask for help. It's no man is an army. Like you're human, and we all need each other and community and the support of each other. Like we're all interconnected. So they're saying don't be afraid to ask for help. That there are other souls um, that are ready to offer you support when you feel like you just can't do it on your own. And it's okay. There's such strength in asking for help. And they say, we love you. You are loved also. Thank you. Thank you, Rose.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marla. And also thank you, Rose, and sending you much love. And Joshua, Rose, thank you so much. Grateful for this grandmother tree visual and feeling. Already helped me feel more grounded and safe. Super appreciated this help. Thank you, ancestors and team. Grateful for all. Thank you, Joshua. And yeah, so also I wanted to ask a question because I don't see more from the audience. Is when you talked with answered, I think it was Ellen, about being present in the moments, and I thought about those. If you have an advice for those times when things feel maybe very slow or nothing happening, and we don't have it feels like unknown when things start to move forward again, or if we are integrating or shifting something within that also takes time, and we are dealing with this unknown when this period will shift. So what will be your advice on that?
And again, they were very energetic with coming through with the response before you even finished. They were like, they knew exactly what you were asking for. There is so much being done in the rest period. And they are inviting me to give you an illustration of something I just experienced in my world. I have a beautiful prayer plant, and she died last year, just down to brown. Did not look like any life was in her, but I kept a crystal in her pot, sending positive energy. I watered her weekly, sent her love. And this week, there's a green shoot coming up out of the soil. So the analogy that they are inviting me to share is that even when it looks like nothing's happening, there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening under the surface. There's a lot of productivity in rest. They say they know that our society doesn't support that belief, but that is the truth, that it's so productive to rest and to be in that downtime. And they're inviting you to surrender to it, to envision yourself envision life as a flowing river, and I'm seeing a raft, like you're on a raft and relaxing on it, soaking up the sun and just floating down the river and admiring all the beauty around you. That's what they're equating as being in rest. Like there's so much going on, even though you're not physically doing anything. But if you tried to switch it up and you had an agenda of what you wanted and you were trying to force the raft to go a certain way, the amount of work that you would be doing that is unnecessary and not productive just counteracts that. So they're inviting you to come to this visualization of visualizing life as the river. And you are being guided by source. There is a divine timing for everything. And sometimes the most helpful and beautiful thing is to just wait and be in stillness and realize that everything is happening and unfolding exactly as it is meant to for you in this lifetime. You always have a choice. They're saying you always have a choice. You don't, you can choose to not surrender. You can choose to fight through it, to try and push to make things happen. But, that will produce that's a different path. But for your highest and greatest good, they're saying it's when you can just relax and surrender into the flow of the universe. They're like, there's big things ahead for you, Mansa, even bigger, but they're germinating. You want to have this and you want to have that solid foundation so that when there are big things happening, that you're able to handle it all and to bend like the palm tree in anything that happens, any storms of life, and just still stand strong because you have that foundation that was built during the restful time. And they send you much love also. Thank you.
Much love. Thank you very much, Marla. Yeah, very beautiful message. And we have 3 more questions from Vivian. Hi, Marla. What in my records can help me reach out to help children stay heart connected? Thank you, Vivian Angel.
Thank you, Vivian. And just tapping in. Just hearing like what a beautiful heart you have, desiring to connect with the beautiful hearts of children. For saying children are looking to you for example, or to others, not necessarily just you specifically, but they are looking to others for examples. So it's important to lead by example, to show them what being connected to your heart center looks like. So feeling into that and coming from a place of love and just trusting for each individual child, it's going to look a little different, right? Because we all have our journeys. Children all have a different journey. But having the stability and the structure of having somebody guide them by example is more powerful for them than just talking to them or having them read something. Although they're saying some children will connect that way also. It will be helpful for them to learn that way also. But ultimately, they're saying that the power of example is where it's at. And I just see so many angels just shining bright that are there for you to call on. So they're never going to jump in unasked, but they are saying that they're here for you. And when you need guidance in the moment for that particular child that you're working with, just to ask them to come through because they are beyond happy to support you in this endeavor. These beautiful children on our planet. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Marla. And also thank you, Vivian, for your question. We'd love to hear your feedback. And we have a question from Irieta. What can I do to stay connected with Mother Earth? I am disconnected even after a session. Thank you.
All right, let's tap it in. Do you live in a place where you can get outside? So that's what they're saying is get outside. Saying find the trees, find the trees. So whether or not you can actually physically go and touch the tree or lean up against the tree, or converse with the tree, you can connect with them energetically. So that beautiful visualization they offered for Joshua of the grandmother tree, they're inviting you to also come back to that. So in the moments where you're not able to go outside and ground, where you're not able to connect with the ancient wisdom and the healing found in the trees, the power of your mind is such a beautiful gift. And you can go anytime and visualize yourself also being held and resting in grandmother tree. They're also saying another beautiful exercise you can do if it aligns with you is to visualize yourself standing with bare feet on the grass. You could also actually do this standing on the grass, but if you don't have grass to stand on, they're saying you can visualize it and imagine roots growing down from the bottom of your feet, going down into Mama Gaia, down through all the layers, through the crystalline caves and down to the core, Mama Gaia, the hot magenta center, and just breathe in that grounding energy and visualize it coming back up through all the layers of the earth, coming up through the bottoms of your feet and into your body and just flowing up through your column of light that flows through essentially through your chakras. And then envision it also just being circulated throughout your entire physical body to every cell and out into your aura, and just bathe yourself in that energy and just breathing, with each breath going down again and just breathing in that energy again, and creating that cycle to support yourself, to help you to feel grounded. And they're saying you can also then connect with the Akash, just send out the energy up through the top of your head, through all of space and time to the Akash and pierce the veil of the Akash and just breathe in that energy, breathe it down into your body and have it mix with the energy of Mama Gaia, just traveling throughout your body to every cell and out into your auric field and creating a toroidal field of energy, just connecting you, your physical being, your energetic body with the akasha, with Mama Gaia. Just imagine breathing up to the akash, having it come down in a circle down to Mama Gaia, coming up then through your feet and just coming up in this like almost like an oval, just creating so much momentum. It's a very powerful exercise. Plants are also a good way to ground and to bring that energy. Crystals, crystals are amazing. Tune in and see. They're inviting you to tune into your akashic records and ask for guidance on which crystal aligns with you in that moment. Because our energy is never the same from moment to moment. There's always some external circumstances, something shifting. So in the moments when you're feeling so ungrounded, just they're saying you have several options to feel into in that moment and see which one aligns with you in that moment. And just trusting that you will be assisted and held and guided. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Marla. Yeah, really powerful exercise. And thank you so much, Irieta. She's on YouTube. And Vivian, she wrote, thank you, Marla, for your beautiful spiritual support and angel message. And thank you, Vivian. And let's see, we have a question from Camille. Bonjour, Monsef. Hello, Marla. Would you please tap into my Lemurian Akash?
Okay, Camille. Again, I'm seeing and not necessarily hearing, but I'm just seeing bright, sparkly light. It's very intense, but not in a negative way intense. It's just very powerful. They're saying that's you. That's your energy. That's your light. That light is coming from you. Wow, I have full body angel once again. So powerful, Camille. You are so powerful. Not just in your Lemurian life, but also that energy carries with you into this lifetime. They're saying that you don't, let me find the words, you don't have to rely on past lives in order to be powerful now in this moment, in this lifetime. That yes, the past lives are supporting you, and you have wisdom gained from those lives, but that doesn't completely define who you are right now in this moment, in this lifetime. That right now, in this moment, in this lifetime, you are also a powerful being of love. I feel a lot of love just now I'm feeling like seeing and feeling it. It's interesting to see it. I didn't feel a color, but like a light pink color just streaming from your heart. It feels really beautiful. They're saying you are worthy. You are worthy. You are powerful. You are enough. You are deserving. You're a magnificent being of light here in this now moment, also light and love. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this energy with us on this call. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marla. And thank you, Camille, for your question. And Irieta, she wrote, thank you both for this wonderful and generous reading. Blessings and love. Thank you, Irieta. Beautiful. Yeah, so Marla, really thank you so much for all the support that you brought today. You shared with us the inspiration and answering the questions and the readings. It's yeah, very so grateful to you. And yeah, always a pleasure and honor to have you on the show. So thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And yeah, thank you, Camille. She wrote, thank you. That was so powerful. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us today on the live call. And thank you for those who will be watching or listening to the replay. Thank you for energies and co-creating with us this experience. And again, I highly recommend that you work one-on-one with Marla, as she's offering us 60-minute one-on-one private session. And I will put the link again on the chat box. And also, you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live page. And later today, it will be also available on the replay page. And then also the link will be added to YouTube video description for the replay. And yeah, so again, thank you so much, everyone. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
I need to stop the streaming on YouTube.